Success is never an accident. It is always the result of relentless preparation, tireless persistence, and unwavering belief. The true champions of the world understand this truth. They practice like they never win, staying humble, focused, and driven, and they perform like they never lose, with confidence, grace, and unshakable determination. Greatness isn't built on talent alone. It's built on what you do when no one is watching. It's built in those early mornings, late nights, and silent hours when you train, repeat, sweat, and grind. When you practice like you never win, you treat every session as a battle to be better. You don't rest on yesterday's victories. You respect the process, you aim higher. But when it's time to perform, when the lights are on and the world is watching, you flip the switch, you perform like you never lose. You don't second-guess yourself. You trust your preparation. You don't fear failure. You embrace the moment. That's how legends are made. They live with the humility of a beginner and the confidence of a champion. So whether you're an athlete, a student, an artist, or an entrepreneur, carry this mindset with you. Practice with the hunger of someone who has never succeeded. Perform with the fire of someone who knows they cannot be beaten, because that's the balance of mastery. Humility in preparation and confidence in execution. Even if you've succeeded in the past, never let comfort dull your edge. Practice like you're still chasing your first victory. This mindset pushes you beyond limits, forcing growth and improvement. The minute you believe you've made it, you stop moving forward. Motivation fades, but discipline endures. Practicing like you've never won requires showing up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't feel like it. Champions are built during the moments when it would have been easier to quit. Every repetition, every effort counts. You don't become great by chasing shortcuts. You become great by doing the basics flawlessly. Practicing like you never win means revisiting your foundation constantly, tightening every loose end, and building solid, unshakable habits that hold up under pressure. In preparation, focus on what's in your control, your effort, your attitude, your commitment. You can't always control outcomes, but you can control how hard and how smart you prepare. Practicing this way builds mental toughness and resilience. Those who practice like they never win don't obsess over instant results. They understand that mastery takes time. They believe in small, consistent improvements. This mindset protects you from frustration and prepares you for long-term success. When it's time to perform, shift gears. You've done the work. Now trust it. Walk into the moment with the belief that you've already won. Self-doubt disappears when confidence is built from relentless preparation. Act like losing is not an option. True performers don't crumble in tough situations. They remain poised and focused no matter how loud the noise or high the stakes. Performing like you never lose is about keeping your mind steady while chaos unfolds around you. That's mental strength. Don't worry about whether you'll win or lose. Focus instead on performing to the best of your ability. When you're in the zone, you're not thinking about results, you're thinking about action. This clarity leads to consistent and powerful performances. Success has a strange way of making people comfortable. The more we achieve, the more likely we are to let our guard down. But those who reach true excellence never allow past wins to dull their hunger. When you practice like you never win, you're reminding yourself that nothing is guaranteed, that every day is a new opportunity to prove yourself not to others, but to your own potential. This mindset keeps you grounded. It forces you to ask yourself tough questions. Am I better than I was yesterday? Am I pushing myself enough? You're no longer practicing just to maintain your level. You're practicing to grow, to evolve, and to uncover the next layer of your ability. You become obsessed with self-improvement, and that obsession fuels your drive. You don't allow trophies or praise to slow you down, because in your mind, there's still a mountain to climb. Staying hungry during practice means approaching each session with urgency and purpose. It's about working like the underdog, with the grit, discipline, and intensity of someone who still has everything to prove. You compete against your own standard of excellence, not the scoreboard. You recognize that the best version of yourself hasn't arrived yet, and you're determined to chase it, rep by rep, hour by hour, day by day. This attitude turns practice into a battleground of transformation. It's where the real fight happens. Not in front of the crowd, but in the quiet, unseen grind where most people give up. Champions embrace this. They don't just show up, they show up hungry. Motivation is powerful, but it's also fleeting. One moment it's there, burning like a fire in your chest, and the next it's gone, leaving you cold and uncertain. That's why the most successful people in any field don't rely solely on motivation. They rely on discipline. When you practice like you never win, discipline becomes your anchor. It's the structure that keeps you moving forward, especially on the days when your energy is low, your mind is distracted, or your heart isn't in it. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you consistent. Champions don't wait until they feel like it to show up. They show up because it's what must be done. They don't negotiate with themselves or look for reasons to skip a session. Whether it's raining, whether they're tired, or whether they're going through personal struggles, the commitment remains unchanged. That's the essence of practicing like you've never won, acting as if there's no time to waste, no room for excuses, no guarantee of tomorrow. Discipline means setting a standard for yourself and meeting it, regardless of circumstances. It's about developing the ability to delay gratification, to say no to comfort, and to say yes to the long, hard path of mastery. It's training your mind to do what's necessary, even when the rewards aren't immediate. You wake up early, you stay late, you repeat the basics over and over because deep down, you understand that excellence is built through repetition, not inspiration. And in the process, something incredible happens. Discipline doesn't just shape your habits, it builds your character. You become stronger, mentally tougher, more reliable. You gain control over your impulses and start defining your life by intentional action rather than mood swings or temporary emotions. You stop chasing motivation and start generating momentum, and that momentum makes you unstoppable. In any craft, whether it's sports, music, business, or life itself, the fundamentals are everything. They are the building blocks upon which all greatness is constructed. Mastering the fundamentals isn't about doing flashy or complicated things. It's about doing the simple things, the essential things, with such precision and consistency that they become second nature. When you practice like you never win, you learn to never outgrow the basics. Many people make the mistake of rushing past foundational skills in their eagerness to reach advanced levels. But the highest performers in the world, athletes, musicians, leaders, all understand one key truth. Your level of success will never exceed your mastery of the fundamentals. These basics are not just steps to get somewhere. They are the core of the craft. Whether it's your footwork, your form, your mindset, or your daily habits, returning to the fundamentals is what strengthens the entire system. Practicing the fundamentals with intensity and humility creates muscle memory, mental clarity, and confidence under pressure. It's the quiet repetition of small tasks that no one sees, that no one applauds, but that ultimately determines how you'll perform when it matters most. When others are skipping steps, chasing shortcuts, or focusing only on outcomes, you are fine-tuning your foundation brick by brick. So, that discipline sets you apart. Mastering the fundamentals also means accepting boredom. Real growth often comes through monotony, through showing up and doing the same drill, the same movement, the same mindset training until it's perfect. It's not glamorous, it's not exciting, but it's effective. And when those pressure moments come, when the stakes are high and emotions are rising, it's your fundamentals that carry you. They are your safety net, your fallback, your base of power. You don't just learn the fundamentals once, you revisit them over and over. Because true mastery isn't about doing something once at a high level, it's about doing it consistently at a high level, no matter the circumstances. One of the greatest lessons you can learn in life, especially when you're working toward excellence, is to focus your energy only on what you can control. There are countless variables in any performance or pursuit. Other people's opinions, external conditions, luck, timing, competition, and countless unpredictable setbacks. But when you practice like you never win, you don't waste your energy on these uncertainties. Instead, you pour everything into mastering what's within your control: your effort, your focus, your preparation, and your attitude. This mindset is what separates the average from the elite. Many people are consumed by things they can't change. They complain about the weather, the judges, their opponents, or a lack of resources. But all of that is noise. True performers block out the noise and zero in on their own lane. They understand that energy is a currency, and they spend it only on things that drive them forward. Controlling what you can starts in practice. It means showing up fully, not halfway. You give your maximum effort. No matter who's watching, you control your environment, how clean your space is, how well you plan your routines, how disciplined you are with your time. You manage your mindset, keeping a positive attitude when training gets hard and staying focused when distractions try to pull you away. You don't need perfect conditions, you just need the right perspective. And when challenges arise, and they will, you learn to respond instead of react. You take ownership, you don't play the victim. You ask yourself, what's in my power right now? That one question brings clarity in chaos. It brings direction when everything feels uncertain. Whether you're tired, frustrated, or facing failure, you still choose how to respond. That's where real strength lives, in the ability to remain steady when everything around you is shaking. Practicing like you never win is about embracing this mindset daily. It's not about waiting for perfect moments. It's about making the most of this moment, You might not control the outcome, but you always control your preparation. And when you train with that level of ownership, you begin to build an internal confidence that no one and nothing can take away. In a world that glorifies instant gratification and overnight success, the idea of trusting the process can feel frustrating, even counterintuitive. But the reality is that all meaningful growth takes time. Real success isn't the result of a single breakthrough. It's the accumulation of small, deliberate efforts made consistently over weeks, months, and even years. When you practice like you never win, you learn to fall in love with the process. Not the praise, not the trophies, not the recognition, but the work itself. Trusting the process means letting go of the obsession with quick results. It's understanding that every great achievement is preceded by countless hours of unseen, uncelebrated practice. You may not see immediate improvements. Some days, it might even feel like you're moving backward. But just like a seed needs time underground before it breaks through the soil, your progress needs time to develop beneath the surface. The results will come, but only if you have the patience to keep going when it feels like nothing is happening. This mindset teaches you emotional endurance. Endurance. Most people give up not because they lack talent, but because they lose faith during the hard parts. They quit when progress is slow, when feedback is negative, or when success feels far away. But when you trust the process, you understand that these moments aren't signs of failure. They are part of the journey. The plateaus, the setbacks, the doubts, they all serve a purpose. They're shaping you, strengthening you, sharpening your focus. Trusting the process also means respecting the value of repetition. It means accepting that excellence comes from doing ordinary things in an extraordinary way, over and over again. There's no magic formula, just a discipline to show up and give your best, even when you don't feel like it. You develop habits that align with your goals. You measure your progress not just by outcomes, but by your consistency and effort. When you adopt this mentality in practice, you remove the pressure of needing to win every day. Instead, your goal becomes growth. You begin to appreciate each step, each lesson, each challenge as part of something bigger. You become less focused on the destination and more invested in becoming the kind of person who can handle it when you arrive. There comes a moment when preparation ends and performance begins, a shift from training to execution. And in that moment, everything hinges on your mindset. All the hours of practice, all the discipline, all the sacrifice, they mean nothing if you can't summon the confidence to deliver when it matters most. That's why it's not enough to train hard. You must also learn how to perform with unshakable confidence. Performing with confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean assuming you're the best or that you can't fail. It means having a deep internal belief that you've done the work, that you belong in the arena, and that you're capable of rising to the occasion. It's about trusting your preparation so completely that when the pressure is on, you don't hesitate, you act. This level of confidence isn't built overnight. It's earned through thousands of repetitions, countless failures, and a relentless commitment to growth. Every time you pushed through fatigue in training, every time you showed up when it was inconvenient, you were building a mental foundation. And when it's time to perform, that foundation becomes your greatest asset. You no longer need to think about the steps. You just execute. Confidence in performance also means silencing the inner critic. It means quieting the doubts, fears, and insecurities that threaten to sabotage your moment. When you're performing like you never lose, you're not focused on the outcome. You're focused on the moment. You're fully present, locked in, and committed to giving your best. You're not trying to prove anything to anyone. You're simply unleashing everything you've prepared. And even if nerves show up, because they always do, you welcome them. You understand that pressure is a privilege, a sign that you're doing something meaningful. Instead of shrinking from it, you lean into it. Because confidence doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means taking action despite fear. It means standing tall, taking a breath, and choosing courage over doubt. The most elite performers don't hope they'll succeed. They expect to. Not because they're invincible, but because they've earned the right to believe in themselves. Their mindset is forged in preparation and expressed through action. They walk into every performance like they've already won, not because of ego, but because of trust. Trust in their work, their discipline, and their journey. Pressure is the great separator. It reveals who has truly prepared and who has only performed well in comfortable conditions. Anyone can shine when the stakes are low, when there's no noise, no judgment, and no expectations. But when the lights are bright, the audience is watching, and the outcome actually matters, that's when the true test begins. And the ones who rise are those who have learned to stay calm under pressure. Remaining calm in high-stress situations isn't about being emotionless or indifferent. It's about having control over your breathing, your thoughts, your body, and most importantly, your response. When you practice like you've never won, you simulate those high-pressure moments so often that they no longer rattle you. You've trained your nervous system to remain composed, and you've trained your mind to slow down, not speed up. You've taught yourself how to breathe through intensity and operate with clarity when others are panicking. Calmness is a weapon, and few people know how to use it. When others allow fear or adrenaline to cloud their judgment, you become sharper. You think clearly, move decisively, and maintain your rhythm. You don't allow the pressure to control you. You control the pressure. That doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of countless hours of mental training, intentional repetition, and building a rock-solid self-belief system that holds firm under fire. Staying calm also requires emotional intelligence. It's understanding how to manage the internal dialogue, the voice that says, "What if I mess up?" Or "This moment is too big." Instead of letting that voice take over, you respond with calm confidence. "I've done this before. I'm ready. I've earned this moment." You begin to see pressure not as a threat, but as an opportunity, a stage to showcase your preparation, not a trap designed to expose your flaws. In those crucial moments, calmness creates space, space to think, space to breathe, space to act with precision. It allows you to tap into everything you've practiced and execute without hesitation. While others are overwhelmed by the moment, you are grounded in it, not because you're superhuman, but because you've trained for this. You've prepared for the storm, and now that it's here, you walk into it with stillness and strength. One of the most powerful mindset shifts any high performer can make is learning to detach from the outcome and place full attention on the execution. It sounds simple, but in a world that constantly emphasizes results, wins, losses, likes, followers, grades, money, it's easy to fall into the trap of chasing validation instead of mastering your performance. But when you practice like you never win and perform like you never lose, you understand that focusing too much on the result actually pulls you away from doing your best work. Detaching from the outcome doesn't mean you don't care about winning. It means you refuse to let the fear of losing or the desire for approval distract you from what you need to do right now. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" or "What will people think?" and start asking, "What's the next right move?" Your focus shifts to execution, to being in the moment, fully absorbed in the task, giving everything you have without mentally skipping ahead to the final score. When your mind is focused on outcomes, you often tighten up. You overthink. You try too hard to be perfect. Ironically, this leads to hesitation, stiffness, and underperformance. But when your attention is anchored in the present, the feel of the motion, the rhythm of the process, the quality of your delivery, you enter a flow state. Your actions become sharp, smooth, and instinctive, just like you practiced. You're not performing for a result, you're performing through preparation. Detachment also builds emotional resilience. You start to measure success not by whether you won, but by whether you showed up fully and did your job with discipline, focus, and effort. This creates long-term growth. It allows you to stay consistent, stay grounded, and keep improving regardless of the scoreboard at the end. Ultimately, this mindset frees you. It liberates you from pressure and performance anxiety. It reminds you that outcomes are unpredictable, but effort, precision, and presence are always within your control. And when you fully commit to the process, more often than not, the outcomes will take care of themselves. So remember this: success is not a stroke of luck. It is the result of unwavering commitment, intentional practice, and fearless execution. Practice like you've never won. Stay hungry, stay humble, and keep sharpening your edge. Perform like you've never lost, with calmness, confidence, and a relentless focus on what you can control. Because the journey to greatness isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become along the way. And when you commit to this mindset, there is no limit to how far you can go.